Hey, it's Marvolo and welcome back to my channel. Last year, around the 2-year anniversary of my Crohn's diagnosis, I decided to share my Crohn's story. We just passed up my 3-year anniversary. It was at the end of March, or as I like to think of it, my Crohn's anniversary. Being that time of year, I thought it'd be a good time to continue my Crohn's story where we left off. Being newly diagnosed wasn't an easy time. It was really great to have a name for what was going on and to know what was in my body and everything, but just having a diagnosis doesn't do a whole lot for your health physically right off the bat. Things just don't magically get better once you know what's wrong, especially with Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease can be very different in how it affects different people, and there's no one-size-fits-all type treatment. Immediately, I was put on 3 different medications after my colonoscopy and after my diagnosis. First, I was put on Flagyl, which is an antibiotic. They thought I had C. diff, Clostridium difficile, which is a bacterial infection that occurs generally in the large intestine. It turned out I didn't have that, so I didn't have to do a full course of Flagyl, but I did take it for a while. And I also took balsalazide disodium, which is a 5-ASA drug. That's just the class of drug. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I know it's used to treat Crohn's. It's one of the more mild medications. I don't remember any particular side effects from it. It's easier on the body, but it's hard to say what side effects come from what when you're taking various medications. In addition to those 2 medications, I was put on prednisone. I had heard about prednisone during my time browsing on the various Crohn's forums because before diagnosis I had some sort of an idea that it might be Crohn's. I thought I was prepared for it, but I really don't think anyone can be prepared for the toll that steroids can take on the body and on the mind. I was looking back through my blog from around this time, and I found a blog post about steroids that I wanted to share with you all. Dear steroids, I am so over you. You cause me pain and make me over-emotional. I've spent so many nights sleepless because of the things you do to my head. My body aches when I'm with you, but it aches after you're gone too. You've left me with permanent damage. Things that can never be replaced. A lasting pain from the damage you've done. All you seem to do is take, and I never get anything in return. You're supposed to make me feel good, but you just make more problems. I'd be better off without you if I could live without you at all. Fuck you, steroids. Yeah. I think that pretty well sums up my feelings on prednisone. Satan's Tic Tacs, that's what a lot of spoonies or people with chronic illness call them. Within a week of starting prednisone, I had started to experience a lot of swelling. The swelling that comes from these sorts of steroids, it goes to a lot of unwanted places. Generally, one of the first places to swell is the face. We like to call it moon face because, you know, no matter the shape of your face naturally, it becomes round and moon-like. Yeah, I'll make sure to include some pictures so you can see what my moon face looked like. I tried to work with it as best I could, but at the very worst of it, my cheeks were so swollen that anytime I spoke or ate, my teeth would cut into my cheeks. I experienced swelling in other parts of my body too. The swelling can be in different places for everyone, but they're usually in really inconvenient places. You'll put on weight with steroids, but in the weirdest places. The worst place that I had swelling was my feet. And it wasn't normal foot swelling. After losing so much weight with my Crohn's and then the added weirdness of being on steroids, my curves disappeared. It was like a reverse puberty almost. No boobs, no butt. But I kind of thought of it in a different way. Instead of my boobs disappearing, it seemed like they migrated to the tops of my feet. I want you to try to imagine that, this jiggling fat sack on the top of each foot. And not just like small, I mean, it was pretty large. My feet got huge, or at least the tops of the feet with the jiggliness did. I went from wearing a size 6.5 shoe to a size 9.5 shoe, and even at that, I was wearing slippers. Whether I was in the house, outside of the house, anytime I had to wear shoes, it was slippers. It was okay because I really didn't leave the house much, and if I did, it was just to go to the doctor usually at that point in time. But yeah, that was really weird. My feet jiggled whenever I walked and I nearly tripped over them several times. Foot boobs. I wish I had pictures to show you, but I never did. I never thought I'd want to see that again, so I didn't bother. Prednisone caused some other changes too. I was hungry all the time, and when I ate a lot. I was like a teenage boy in the depths of puberty. That's the kind of appetite I had developed. I remember getting this like massive 5-pound log of provolone and finishing it in like a couple of weeks just to myself eating slices of cheese. I didn't use it on anything, just was eating the cheese. My doctor saw me after I had been on steroids for 2 weeks, and he immediately knew that things weren't going well. Just seeing my face, seeing all the swelling, he knew I was reacting poorly. It's normal to have swelling, but the amount I had, in comparison to what I looked like before, yeah, he said that wasn't normal. I guess I'm highly sensitive to prednisone. Or there's also the chance that maybe my low weight made it more potent, I was malnourished, I had a low blood count, low hemoglobin, so that could factor in too. But he told me that, see, I was on 30 milligrams of prednisone at the time, but he said it was affecting me more like 60 milligrams would affect someone. Despite all the side effects, it really wasn't doing anything for my Crohn's, so he decided that it would be best for me to get onto a different medication and slowly taper off of the steroids. The new type of medication my doctor put me on were biologics. I'll get into biologics in a different video, but for now, I want to tell you about steroid tapers. They fucking suck. I was moody as hell. I was cranky. I would go between wanting to sleep forever and not being able to sleep at all. Steroids themselves can make it hard to sleep, so when you're coming off of them, it makes you have a really sporadic sleep pattern, and it's really hard to get things done when your sleep pattern is so just random. The smallest things would bother me back then. I'd get irritable really easily and I'd cry with almost no reason. It was hard. Coming off of steroids is taxing both physically and mentally. On top of all of that, any sort of body confidence I had was thrown way out the window. My curves were in all the wrong places. Unless you like back humps and foot boobs, then I would have been your dream come true. I know it's silly, but superficial things like that can be really important. And it can be really hard to see into the future and see past what's right in front of you. I remember being on a photo shoot when I was still tapering off of steroids. I thought maybe the moon face had reduced, and it had reduced some, but really I should have waited a couple more months before getting back into modeling. Anyway, on the photo shoot, the photographer showed me some of the images while we were working, and I just burst into tears. It didn't look like my face. I was disgusted by what I saw. And now that I think about it, you know, it's probably not the best way to respond to a photographer, but at the same time, I couldn't really control myself, my emotions back then when I was coming off of steroids. I was just a wreck. But he said something along the lines of, you better get used to it because, you know, that's your face, you're kind of stuck with it. Yeah, that didn't help me to feel any better at all. Also, it's just not true. Moonface doesn't stay around. He didn't know the situation, but you know, he didn't know what to say. But really, he made the whole situation worse. Moonface goes away though, and that's important to remember. It can be really hard to see past it, but the side effects, for the most part, will go away. Most side effects from medications will go away when use is discontinued, although not all of them. Some medications have a side effect of death or cancer. Those don't go away, but we'll get to that another time. Oh, something else that happened while I was on prednisone. So it can cause bone density loss, and a lot of people develop arthritis, which I did, and just joint issues in general. My joints are much more cracky and pained, especially when it's cold out. I don't have rheumatoid arthritis, just osteoarthritis, and it's not that bad really. But I didn't have that before I was on steroids, and also between the vomiting and the steroid use, the enamel of my teeth really broke down, and I ended up cracking one of my teeth just eating cereal. So it's really important if you're on steroids, the longer you're on them really, well, I mean, no matter what, you should have good oral hygiene and you should go to the dentist, but if you're on steroids, you really need to be checking in and maintaining your oral hygiene even more because bone loss and all that jazz can damage your teeth and it fucking sucks. Alright, I think that's going to be it for this video. If you've ever been on prednisone or another corticosteroid, let me know down in the comments what your experience was like so we can, you know, trash prednisone and other terrible drugs together. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already so you can stay updated for the next time I make a video. I love you guys and I'll see you again soon.